Alright guys, I remelted some orange I already had. I keep my leftovers and coffee cans and everything else I can find like that. And like for these tails, I'm keeping it separate because I'm making them a touch darker than I would other colors. Because they're so small, if you don't make them darker, they won't show up. Alright? Now, we're going to shoot that. I got the two tail molds right here. Lock them down. We'll let these two tail molds cool. Alright. They don't take much plastic because they're very small. Alright, lost a little plastic on the table there. Sometimes I got it pretty hot, so I got it about 350. The hotter it is, guys, the more liquefied and the runnier it comes, you know. And it's easy to run out. I usually shoot about 340, 350. That was a touch hotter than normal. Alright, so let it cool and we're going to open. Alright guys, you all ready? So once it cools, you can pull it right out of that stuff. It's no big deal. It's spilt on my table here. I was going back. Watch this. There's the run that's spilt on my table. Yeah, when you're shooting single colors, you can reuse all that. Dual colors is where you lose everything, you know, in that runner. And that's what I'm making some of the remelt baits from. Give me some of my remelts. Alright. Piece of dirt. You always deal with that. Old pieces of plastic is what it is. Sticks to everything. I cleaned this whole work area before I started this morning. But that's what happens. Alright, there's the tails. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm shooting. And I'm going to probably shoot quite a few more. And then we'll shoot the bodies. I like to at least have 8 set of these. That's so I have 4 molds. That way I can shoot 2 rounds. Even when I'm making a porta cats, we're making this color right here. Right? Sun up. Right. These laying here are some that are not perfect. This one's feel like it's okay, but I laid them here for a reason. And folks come around, I give them to them. I call them seconds. I got a bunch of them laying here, quite different colors. This has got just a little air in the nose. That's why. Will fish still bite it? Yeah. Can I fish with it? Yeah, I end up fishing with it. All right, guys. Let me finish this, and we're gonna put them in the body, in the molds. And I'm gonna show you how I put them in the molds. We're gonna shoot the body color. Alright guys, here's our tails, and I usually put the bottom of the mold down just like it is on these. That way I feel like they're going in the right way. I don't think there's a side to them anyway, but that's just the way I do it every time. Form a pattern, you know, doing anything. Y'all know I paint a lot. Yeah. And I tell people, when you're rolling on the wall, you develop a pattern. You watch these people on these makeup shows where they go in and remodel and all this kind of stuff, painting. They roll every direction. No. You roll straight up and down. Start in the middle of the wall, roll up almost to the top, back down, because you don't want to push all your paint to the top, and then you roll the width of the roller and a half, and then you roll back to where you started, okay? And then you fill your roller again. That way you won't skip anything. If you don't develop a pattern, you will skip stuff. The way they show on somebody's shows, I can only imagine. Alright? And I cut first. A lot of people ask, do you roll and cut? I usually cut my walls in first. And a job I just done a while back, I painted the whole inside of a house. I done all the cutting first. Every room was the same color. I done the whole house first, cut 2 times. Then I went back the next day. Well, it took me a couple of days, guys. It took me like 3 or 4 days. Then I went back one day and I rolled the whole thing. Went home, come home by 2 o'clock, went back the next day, rolled it again, and I was done. Alright? Same thing with this. You develop a pattern the way you do it, and it becomes faster. And if you develop a pattern that's doing it the right way, you know, the way you're going to do it, it'll come out fine. Alright guys, I chopped up some leftover chartreuse I had, and I added some to it. So that means I got to I need to cook it to about 360. Then I'm going to add some more coloring to it. That means I have to add some more glitter to it, okay? And go from there, alright? When I get it out of there and get ready to beef up the coloring, I'm going to holler at you. Alright guys, got it ready here. What I done now, I added 20 drops of chartreuse coloring to it, to the cup. Put it in the microwave after I cooked it a while. Heated it back up. Alright, And it's silver and chartreuse flake. Now we're going to shoot it. I'm trying to keep it moving. It's not cold today. It's in the 50s, but I've had the molds on the griddle back there. I just put them off the griddle. I put the tails in them, put them back on the griddle, and I took it back off the griddle just a minute ago, and put them in here. So that's why sometimes I keep shooting, and I didn't stop and spend some time showing y'all me mixing it because I was keeping it rolling. All right, I shot a grub too. All right. All right. Now we're gonna let these cool. They're sucking down a little bit, and that's normal. One thing about the solid color like this, every little piece of it I can remelt and use. When you're shooting dual colors and you got two colors going like this, I lose that. Yeah, that's Blue Boy. Blue Moon. And I'm melting those down. I've been saying this in some of the videos, if y'all been watching them all. I'm melting that down and remaking baits with it and catching fish with them. Some of them I'm going to do in dual colors and back. Been showing y'all some on Wednesday nights. They work just fine, okay? And I catch fish with them. Alright? This is a remelt in the blue, something like that. Alright? And I'm going to put them on the site later on. I'm making stock now. Y'all ready? Bam! It's unusual. It stayed in there for me. What do you think of that? Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I pulled a little piece pulled off on me, didn't it? That's cause I cut it with a knife. I cut these screws out with a knife. I probably nicked it. Alright, there you go. Alright guys, y'all know the routine. 1 through 400. I start at 10, I go 10 to 400. Alright, I explained it to you many times why I do that. You can't go over the number. If the number is 99, you got 100, you went over. Somebody could have 80 and win. But we've had people hit on both sides of the number. That stops that argument, doesn't it? Alright? Must be a subscriber. Leave one number per person. I draw on Wednesday night by a random number. Make a video of it. Load it on Thursdays. Appreciate y'all guys. Good luck to everybody. Hey, I'll see y'all on Wednesday night. This is Sunup. LC Shad. See ya. Alright guys, found another one. Ain't the size of that one. He didn't look very big on the scope, but I'm throwing at all of them, no matter what size they are. if it's a fish, I'm throwing at them. And sometimes I could tell he wasn't a monster, but sometimes it depends on how they're facing you. If they're looking at you like this, they don't look. It could be a big fish and not look very big. When they're sideways, it's a bigger mark. Does that make sense to you? So if it's a mark and he's close enough to throw at, I throw at him. I'm out here to fish. It don't have to be monsters. I'm out here to fish. Now y'all know me, the guys that watch the channel a lot, you know I like to catch nicer fish. I like catching when they're 12 inches and up, but it don't happen all the time. And like I said, I'm in an area that I only fish once or twice a year. Seen some fish. They're not spooky, but they're not aggressive. When I bring the bait by a lot of them, some of them move out of the way and turn around and go the opposite way. They're like, nope, been there, seen that, don't want it. Bam, found another one. I went to this Sunup color. Y'all noticed that in the last fish, because you know what? In the spring, number one, I like chartreuse anyway. That's why a lot of my baits have chartreuse tails. I think my remote's beating on the rod. That's a little nicer fish. Got some eggs in that one. I think in the spring especially, you're not going to be chartreuse. You got some stain in the water, you're not going to be chartreuse. Now I said something about a natural color earlier. Chartreuse is not a natural color, I reckon you would say, but for crappie fishing, it's a natural, right? It's something we automatically use. Oops, anything with chartreuse, I can get it. He's not hooked bad. I ain't getting a hold of the hook. It was stuck in him good though. Oops, I think I broke my hook off. Anyway, there you go. All right, guys, this one came pretty a little faster. So I have fished 3 or 4 different colors. Like I say, trying to match the watercolor a little bit. Like I say, this is no secret. We know chartreuse is always good. And I went to the chartreuse with the orange tail. It's got just enough orange on the tail. I lost my bait that time too. nuts there. Got enough, just enough orange on the tail, probably to wake them up a little bit. You know, it waves at them when that little tail's moving. It's saying, "Hey, look at me! I'm different than everything else in the water." Look at the eggs in that one. When I threw it, the ones I showed you there, they're not very big fish. I'm not finding monsters, but I'm catching fish. Now he looked bigger than that. He looked bigger than that out there, a little further. I would have guessed him being bigger. He's hooked in the bottom. It's unusual, isn't it? That means I got to hold him upside down. They're eating size fish. All right, guys, I think I found the ticket. This is 2 casts later. The first cast, 2 of them followed me. I threw back at him. The next cast, this one hit it. Like again, broken record. You can't beat chartreuse in the spring. Even if the water's got some clearness to it, chartreuse tail can help. You know, if you go to smoke. This young fella in this one boat up here, I talked to him at the boat ramp. He said, "Look on my boat." I was putting my boat in the water, and he was getting his ready. He said, "Look on my boat. Look at my rods." And he had some of my baits tied on. Wasn't that nice? I don't know him. He told me who he was, though. And I said, "Okay, thank you. Thank you." And he was showing me the one he liked. It was a smoke color. It was the wild color chartreuse tail. It's called Gunner, right? That's why I call it Gunner. It just eats them up, you know. You know, you get a plane, and you're just eating them up. That's what it'll do. He said that's the best color he's found so far. I said, "Yep, I can take that color on Lake Gaston when the water is somewhat clear, and all summer long, and eat them up without the chartreuse tail, wild by itself. It's just an old school color, guys. It's smoke with black and silver flake in it. I mean, you can't beat it. So, yeah, it's just." Some of y'all young guys are probably going like, "What?" Anybody that's over 40, 45 remembers that when grubs first came out like this, okay, that's slick. I threw it a couple times, had a couple bumps on it. They didn't quite want it, I think, because of the blues. Now we got some tenth of the water on Gaston, they would eat that up today. This lake's different, I know that. And one of my friends tell me that lives here on this lake, close to it. He says, "You can't beat chartreuse anytime." So that's why I went to the chartreuse sunup color. But y'all old school guys remember when those grubs came out? Smoke, pumpkin seed, when they got popular, green pumpkin, watermelon. That was about it, wasn't it? You know, then they started getting more colors all the time. You go to the boat shows in the 80s. Yeah, I used to go to the boat shows like the fish shows, and people would have these big tables full of baits, and you could buy them by the pound. All right, bringing some memories back for some of y'all. You could buy them by the pound, and you just went and got whatever you wanted. And they had little plastic bags you put them in. Then when you got done, you put them on a scale, and they weighed them by the pound. And that's the way that some of this generic stuff got started, stuff like I'm selling. You know, that's how it got started back in the 80s. And I wondered then how they was doing it. I keep thinking about this many a times. I wish I would have caught on to these bait making 10 years ago, guys. I enjoy it. I enjoy hearing the comments from y'all, just like this man was telling me he's catching fish on them. Somebody commented on the site yesterday that they're doing really good with the grubs. They're the perfect size. I know they're 2 inches. The grub is 2 inches. A lot of y'all used to using 2.5s because Southern Pro and a lot of these companies are 2.5s. So when you buy these, you're gonna go like, "Man, they're small." Well, you're used to using 2.5s. I could have got a 2.5, but if I'd have bought the 2.5, some of y'all guys would have went, "These are too big." All right, guys, found another one. I was trying to find one really nice one for this video, but it ain't happening. That ain't happening. They like this color. I hate the change. Full of eggs. Love seeing that. Bam. It's not getting any bigger. Alright guys, sorry my camera died. My battery died. I'm hard on batteries. These batteries don't like this cold air. He's been bit. He's not a bad sized fish. That was on the Sunshine. It's called Sun Up. I hope this is a crappie. I don't think it is. That's what I thought. I seen him. He was swimming close to the top, and I seen some fish break on. I seen some fish break on shad a while ago, about a half an hour ago, in front of this dock. And I heard him break behind me a couple times. He done took so much line now I'm gonna have to reel again. Same but 2 pound test, guys. Look what you can catch on 2 pound test. Bam! That's what I'm talking about. And that's one old orange sunup. Bass like sunup too. Look, he's barely hooked too. That's a nice bass, guys. He's probably 2.5, 2 3/4. Got eggs in that one too. He's about 9 inches, 8.5, probably 8.5. I don't think he'd make 9. Looking back at him. All right, guys, get my camera to come on. I had it off because I ate lunch. I brought a ham sandwich with me, and I sat down and ate lunch, and didn't cut it back on. I've been riding. I just been riding around with trolling motor guys looking. I done came a long ways. I'm just looking, trying to find some bigger fish. I'm seeing a lot of small fish. Bam! Look what I found. I found a bigger fish. All right. All right. This is on the sun up. All right, guys. All right, guys. The hook went through and came back into him again. Y'all have seen it. It's happened to y'all. I didn't want to spend all the time y'all watch me take it out. There you go, guys. Definitely going to end this video. I caught a bunch of small ones. I'll put some of them in here. Isn't that a pretty bait? All right. It's a pretty color. That's a nice fish there, guys. He's 12, 12.5. All right. Go lay your... All right, guys. My camera died that time. My battery was dead. And I just put it a little bit ago. It's cool weather. It's cool today. You notice I put my windbreakers back on after I started fishing. They didn't have them on at the beginning. I started getting chills. I put them back on. You get a little breeze across the lake. It cools you, doesn't it? All right, guys. I'm going to make this a porta catch. I know I haven't missed it in the video because I'm just trying to see how things are going. I'm low on porta catches, so I better do that. Again, this is sun up color, sunshine orange tail. Okay. Appreciate y'all, guys. The shop parts always in the front. Hope you enjoyed that. A lot of y'all say you like that. Wish I do more of the shop parts. I got an idea for something else I might start doing here shortly, just on and load on Saturdays. Make it like a little 5-minute video, either about a bait, or making a color. What do y'all think of that? Appreciate y'all, guys. Dennis, Fishing Lake Country. Thank y'all for watching. Thank everybody for ordering from me. I'm sitting here fishing my phone. I got my phone set on a different sound for orders. When orders come in, I've gotten 2 today while I was fishing. Bam! That's what I'm talking about. See y'all, guys.